everyone, it's Jessica here with another layout for a Cherry on Top Crafts. Today I'm using this beautiful sketch. It's one of our sketches. They're usually released every Thursday, I believe. So I was really inspired by this sketch. I thought it was really pretty and I can do a lot with this and create some fun layers in here and make it a little bit grungy. So that's kind of my thing usually. I am using the 49 and Market Rust and Revs collection today. So I've pulled out a couple of these papers from the collection in the 12 by 12 size, and I'm just ripping off sections of these and layering them up to create that focal point down the middle of my, well, I guess not the middle, it's kind of off center, but it's the focal point of the sketch, and that's what I'm starting with. So I am just layering these by attaching these two together and just ripping those, just tearing them apart. So super simple and easy, but it's a fun way to add nice pattern papers to your layouts and add some color while using a plain background. And that's something that I really like to do, is to use a white or colored cardstock plain background and then fancy it up with some pattern papers. So here I've got my 3 photos already matted on some smooth white cardstock, and I decided I want to do a circular element like on the sketch, but on the sketch it's actually behind this pattern paper, but I'm actually going to do mine on top. As you see, I just pulled that off of my sewing machine here beside me, and my stitches are done. I just did some wonky ones and some black. I had a little circle cut out from something else that I used, so I just kind of used that as a template and drew a light pencil mark around there and then did my machine stitching. And here I am just adding some more layers to my photos using some of the smaller papers and the scraps that I have left over from other layouts and things from this collection. So I'm just going to rough up those edges with my fingernails, and then I'm going to grab some embellishments here. So I've got the rub-ons that I may throw a couple of those on, and I've got this embellishment pack here that has lots of title bits and things in it, but I'm not going to use any of these for titles because I couldn't really find anything in this collection that really suited what's going on in these photos. My boys were digging in this little dirt pile that we had started when we were doing something, I think putting in another road or something in a farm, and the dirt pile has since grown to be over 6 feet tall probably. But my boys just absolutely love playing in the dirt here and playing with their little backhoes and skid steers and things like that. So that's what they were doing. They were pretty small here in these photos, so I'm trying to get some of these older photos in my stash scrapbooked and into my albums. That's actually one of my goals for next year, to get some of these older albums finished up and put away and just kind of move on and become more current, hopefully. So I'm layering these up. I've got all those beautiful little bits behind there. I've grabbed some of these little die cuts that I think I might want to use, like these cute little barrels. I'm just going to tuck those into my little layers here of paper and attach some of these wordy bits just using my ATG gun. And then I'm going to grab a couple of the smaller embellishments and some of the Deluxe Nuvo adhesive and attach some of those with that Nuvo. It's like a liquid adhesive, so it does dry super clear. It's pretty much my go-to these days, and I really like it for adhering these smaller embellishments. I'm grabbing the last few gears that I have left over from these laser cuts from this collection, and I'm going to have to find a creative way to make my own with some dies, because I really, really love adding these to my layouts. And these were the last ones that I had, so I'm going to layer them up on this layout. And then I was looking at my hand. I was like, what was I doing there? But I was looking at my hand and trying to figure out how in the world I ended up smudging those splatters that I did earlier. I added some splatters with some black Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and at some point putting something on this layout, I ended up smudging them, but I'm totally okay with that because this layout's dirty and grungy anyway, so it just kind of goes along with my theme. My little alphas here are a newer alpha from the shop, which I just love. I think they're called Luna alphas, and I love them. I'm going to have to order more in other colors because I really, really like the font, and I love the size. They're not too big, and they're not too small. And they're a little bit puffy, but they're still pretty flat, so they're really, really nice. They're just like a good mix of everything that I love. So I'm going to be getting some more of those in different colors because they come in all different colors. But the black, of course, is my favorite. And so that's what I'm adding here. And I just made my title say, I dig dirt. And I just thought that was perfect for this because that's exactly what he's doing. My boys love digging in the dirt. And I thought it was pretty appropriate for this one. Here I'm just grabbing some rub-ons. I've cut off the ones that I want to use. And I'm going to apply them one at a time because sometimes I end up overlapping the clear plastic onto one another whenever I'm trying to apply these. So I found it works best for me if I just apply them one at a time. And with this white cardstock, you do have to be a little bit careful to not go off of the rub-on too much because if you do, it kind of makes some marks on your paper as well. So just be careful with that. And I'm just going to grab a couple more of these little circle things. I really like them. I ended up just using my fingernail to rub those ones on. I didn't even need a tool because they were small enough. So I'm just going to add 2 of those. And I'm going to add some flare here that I pull in from Scrap and Happy Studio. So I'm on their team as well. So I've got lots of that in my stash. So I'm just going to add a couple of those and try and get some of these used up too. And I just felt like it just needed a little something extra, so that's why I wanted to grab some of these. Usually I would reach for some sequins and add some sparkle and some bling, but I ended up reaching for these and some black thread in behind there to pull in some more pop, just a little bit more pop of black, because I really thought it looked like it needed just a little bit more black on this layout just to pull everything together. So I really like to have balance in my layouts and create just that nice visual triangle. So I am just adding some black thread here behind my flare buttons and just using some glue dots in the medium size to sandwich that thread in between and stick it down to my layout. So super simple and easy, but it just adds a fun texture to your layout and just a little bit more interest and a little pop of color too. Like if I were to use colored thread, I would have a little pop of color in my layout as well. But since this one's a pretty grungy layout to begin with, I didn't really want to add any color to it unless it would have been like maybe an orange or yellow, but I thought black would be best. So here's how this one turned out. I love this. It's another finished page in my book. I hope I've inspired you guys to create something, and I will link everything below that I've used today in case you want to grab anything from the shop. Thank you guys so much for being here and have a great day. Bye-bye.